Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now. You know that the NFL landscape is always shifting, and right now, there's a lot of buzz around the NFC East. The Eagles, as we all know, have been a dominant force in recent years, climbing to the top of the division and making serious championship runs. But in the NFL, nothing stays static for long. Teams are always looking for that edge, that move that could propel them to the next level. And this season, everything seems to be pointing toward a potential shift that could shake up the division. And for the Birds, it's an opportunity that could not be missed. Let's talk about what's been happening lately that could impact the Eagles' future. The NFC East has long been known as one of the most competitive divisions in football, featuring teams with rich histories and passionate fan bases. The Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, New York Giants, and of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. But right now, there's a lot of talk about shifts in power, and not all of it favors the Eagles, surprisingly. You see, the division has been pretty unpredictable lately, with teams rising and falling, but what's catching everyone's attention is the potential for a major trade involving one of the division's rivals, and it could change the entire complexion of the NFC East. Now, I want to give you a broader picture of the current state of the Eagles, because when we talk about shifts in power, it's essential to understand where each team stands. Philadelphia, in recent years, has built a roster full of talent and resilience. Jalen Hurts has emerged as one of the league's most exciting quarterbacks, blending athleticism with leadership. A.J. Brown has been a game-changer on offense, stretching defenses and making contested catches that leave fans in awe. The defense, too, has been solid, especially with the addition of young talent and veteran leadership. The Eagles are not just aiming for a playoff appearance. They're eyeing that elusive Super Bowl title, and they are positioned well for another deep postseason run. But as we all know, football is a game of inches, and inches can be gained or lost on strategic moves in the offseason. And that's where the latest rumors and reports come into play, hinting at possible blockbuster trades that could reshape the NFC East landscape. One of the most talked about scenarios involves the division's other contenders making a bold move to improve their rosters, and the Eagles have been at the center of many of these discussions. Now, it's important to remember that the NFL offseason is a time of speculation, rumor, and strategic planning. Teams are always trying to position themselves better for the upcoming season, and sometimes that means trading away key players or acquiring new talent. The Eagles, with their strong core, are in a good position to either make a splash or stay patient and build for the future depending on how the market develops. But there are whispers about potential trades that could really shake things up. For example, some sources are suggesting that a rival NFC East team might be looking to deal a star player to boost their chances, and that could open a window for Philadelphia to capitalize if they're aggressive enough. Let's dive into some of these rumors, because they're not just idle chatter. There's talk about the Dallas Cowboys potentially making a move for a high-profile receiver or defensive star to add more firepower to their roster. The Giants, on the other hand, are rumored to be exploring options to bolster their offensive line or secondary. But the most intriguing speculation revolves around the Washington Commanders, who seem to be in the early stages of a rebuild, trying to find the right pieces to compete consistently. If any of these teams go all in with a trade, it could create a ripple effect across the division, and the Eagles will need to be ready to respond. Now, I want to tell you about a particularly interesting rumor that's been gaining traction among NFL insiders. It involves a potential trade that could see a division rival make a bold move. And spoiler alert, it could involve a player that the Eagles are very familiar with. There's chatter about a major trade proposal where a team might be looking to offload a star quarterback or a key player to free up cap space or to rebuild for the future. And surprisingly, some analysts are even speculating that the Eagles could be in the mix as a trade partner, either to acquire a star or to send a player in the other direction. But let's focus on the most realistic and impactful scenario that could benefit Philadelphia directly. Imagine a trade that involves a division rival sending one of their key offensive or defensive pieces to a team like the Eagles. That kind of move could give the Birds a serious advantage heading into the season. And speaking of trades, there's also been a lot of buzz about the upcoming trade deadline, usually around mid-season when teams assess their rosters and decide whether to go all in or sell some assets. The Eagles, with their strong roster, are in a prime position to be buyers or sellers, depending on what transpires. Now, it's worth mentioning that the Eagles have been methodically building their team through the draft and free agency, focusing on a mix of veteran leadership and young talent. Their front office has been strategic, making smart moves to not only contend now, but also to ensure sustainability for the future. They've got a solid core of players who are locked in, like Hurts, Brown, and the defensive stars, but they're also keeping an eye on the market for potential upgrades at key positions. Coming back to this idea of power shifts, the NFC East could see a major upheaval if one of these trades materializes. The Eagles are well positioned to capitalize on any division chaos, especially if they manage to strengthen their roster further before the season kicks off. Plus, with the NFC as a whole getting more competitive, teams like the 49ers, Cowboys, and even the Lions are all in the mix. The Eagles need to stay sharp and ready for anything. They've proven in recent years that they can handle pressure, but the NFL is a league where the landscape can change overnight. Now, let's not forget that the Eagles have a lot of momentum heading into 2025. Their roster is deep, their coaching staff is experienced, and the chemistry within the team is at a high point. Jalen Hurts, in particular, is entering his prime, and he's been showing consistent growth, making him one of the league's most dangerous quarterbacks. The receiving core with Brown and Smith continues to be one of the best in the league, and the offensive line, led by Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce, is among the top units protecting their quarterback and paving the way for the run game. The defense, often a question mark in the past, has become a strength, with recent draft picks and strategic signings boosting their pass rush and secondary. But beyond just the talent on the field, what makes the Eagles so formidable is their organization's mindset. They're hungry, disciplined, and have a clear vision of what they want to achieve this season. The team's culture, built around resilience and relentless pursuit of excellence, continues to be a key factor in their success. Their coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni, has been innovative and adaptable, always adjusting game plans to exploit opponents' weaknesses and maximize their own strengths. Looking ahead, the NFL schedule is shaping up to be intense. The Eagles will face tough divisional games, but if they maintain their form and capitalize on strategic moves, perhaps involving some of these trade rumors, they could very well be favorites to not only win the NFC East again, but also to make a deep run into the playoffs, potentially aiming for a second Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. The path is not going to be easy, but the foundation is there. They are a team built for resilience and excellence, and they're hungry to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Philadelphia. In conclusion, the NFL landscape is always evolving, and for Eagles fans, the excitement is palpable. The possibility of division rivals making bold moves, combined with the Eagles' own strategic planning, sets the stage for what could be an exhilarating season. Whether it's a blockbuster trade, a breakout player, or a clutch play in the postseason, one thing is certain. The Philadelphia Eagles are once again in the center of the NFL universe, and we're all here to witness every moment of this incredible journey. So keep your eyes glued, stay tuned for updates, and let's see how this story unfolds. The Eagles are ready to soar again, and you don't want to miss a second of it. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these rumors, these potential moves? Do you think the Eagles should be aggressive in the trade market, or are you happy with the current roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. This is a community, and your voice is what makes it special. I'll be back soon with even more updates, insider info, and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. Remember, we're all part of this family, and together, we're going to keep pushing forward, celebrating victories, and dreaming of that next Super Bowl. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Birds.